Good evening. I'd first like to thank the Bristol Hall of Fame Board of Directors, the committee, as well as Bob Collot and Chris D'Amato. I also want to thank my friends and family for coming, especially from those out of state. It's good to get some more St. Paul blood into the Hall of Fame. From the nomination process to receiving the acceptance letter in the mail to hearing from old classmates, teammates, and coaches, the whole process has been so much fun. Getting to the Bristol Sports Hall of Fame was always a goal of mine and something that my dad and I have talked about for a long time. Getting in means a lot to me. I've been trying to tell my kids that I was decent at sports when I was younger, and now I have the evidence to prove it. I wanted to give a quick shout out to the Bristol Press. It was a very different time 25 years ago. There were no internet articles, no Twitter notifications. Everything came from the newspaper. Every morning after a big game, I used to go to the convenience store before school and buy a copy or two if I was mentioned in an article or featured in a picture. Sports have been a big part of my life for as long as I can remember. My dad played football and lacrosse. He never pushed his favorite sports on me and was supportive of whatever sport I chose to play. My mom wouldn't let me play football, and also the fact lacrosse wasn't popular at the time also could have played a role. My dad used this lacrosse stick when I used to use my baseball glove to play catch. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. My dad never missed a game, no matter what sport, location, time of day, my dad was there. He pushed me hard, and at times I pushed back. But looking now, I realized all he ever wanted for me was to be the best that I could be. I'm so thankful to him for all his dedication to me and my love of sports. My mom was tough too, but she was my #1 fan. Before my junior year of baseball, I was having a terrible first 2 weeks, and I was thinking of quitting. She wasn't having any of that, and she turned out to be right, as usual. I remember that before the last high school regular season basketball game, a game we needed to win against Valley Regional in order to make the state tournament, we thought shaving our heads was a good idea for good luck. I honestly was more nervous in the locker room to see my mom's reaction and make eye contact in her layup lines than I was for the actual game. Luckily for me, we won the game. My grandfather, Pop, was highly involved in my sports career from the beginning. He's the reason I'm a Yankees fan. I would look over to him to see what pitch I should throw in Little League when I was on the mound. In fact, on opening day as a 10-year-old, I had a group of family members drinking at my game as it was the day after my aunt's wedding, and the party just continued in the outfield. Pop kept all my stats. You name it, he had it. And keeping stats continued throughout my high school career, and I have the binder to prove it. Fun fact, my grandfather once got kicked out of Immanuel Lutheran School middle school basketball game when a ref refused to continue the game until the spectator was removed from the gym. All of my schools were small compared to my opponents. My Immanuel grade class had 13 people in it. My St. Paul graduating class had 93. Babson roughly 400. St. Paul was the only Class S school in the Northwest Conference at the time, not to mention non-conference games versus Bristol Central and Bristol Eastern in every sport. Coach Armington at Immanuel Lutheran, coaches Steve Phelps and Robert Mayer at St. Paul, and even Coach Stephen Brennan at college didn't use the fact that we were a small school for an excuse. They expected us to win regardless, and that's how I felt as well. Essentially, my friends and I were going to show up and give you everything we got. I don't think St. Paul plays Central or Eastern in basketball anymore, but winning the city title in basketball was important to me my senior year and something I took pride in. Outside of my own playing, watching Dan and Jill, my brother and sister, and then my own kids, Maddie and Cole, has been amazing. My brother was an awesome soccer goalie for both Bristol Eastern and Western Connecticut, although he's lucky he never had to play against me. Nothing I enjoyed more than fighting with the other team's crowds during one of his games. My sister was big into dance and cheerleading, especially the teams I was playing for. She technically might be the only St. Paul cheerleader who never actually went to St. Paul, but she cheered at all my games. As I was writing this speech, I realized that my wife and I were passing this tradition on to our kids. I'm coaching my son in football, a sport I never played, but one that he loves. We recently went 11-0 in our season and won the championship. And although I had my dad trying to signal in plays from the sideline, I felt that I had won the Super Bowl watching him lead his team to victory. My daughter is doing incredible too as she starts her sports career in soccer, basketball, and gymnastics. She's also wearing my favorite number, 13. I can't wait to see where their journeys go. Lastly, I wanted to thank my wife, Laura, for her constant support and encouragement. I wouldn't be at this point without you. You make a great team.